reality NSFW fans, as Jonny Fairplay loves to say, the penultimate episode of
you stole my thunder.
We are 1 week out from the finale of the new beginning, Survivor Season 41. Jonny Fairplay is coming to my hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio next week. And you guys and girls, if you have never been to a live viewing party with other survivors, it is something that you do not want to miss. It's one of those life experiences, especially right now when you maybe haven't done stuff in a while. We are going to be at Bishop's Quarter in downtown Loveland, Ohio, which is badass. If you get there early, I would suggest going to Plaid Room Records down the street. It's going to be myself, Jonny, hopefully many surprises. I've talked to Angela Perkins, Marcus Lehman, Sash. I've been in communication, so
Roger Bingham. Yep. And maybe, just maybe, she is 2 minutes away. Lil Morris. Are we going to break the internet?
I really hope so. I've done my just pitch to her about how Fairplay is a changed man.
Well,
Jonny is not going to hold a vendetta against someone from Pearl Island's days.
No.
If anyone holds a vendetta, it's Lil.
Yeah, she thinks I'm going to cut a promo on her. I sent a message myself. I'm like, I'm warning you now. I'm going to give you a big hug.
Right.
I mean, what do I prove by cutting a promo on some older woman?
I know
that doesn't. Listen, I mean, I'm good. Life worked out just fine.
It did.
I'm a very happy man.
But I tell you what, you guys don't want to miss this. Right now, you can get your tickets at survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. $75 gets you VIP treatment. You get in the door at 6:30. You get a meet and greet, a Survivor buff, autographed photos. 7:30 general admission, $25. Come out, have a good time.
We have trivia every commercial break. We're giving away autographed pictures from some of your favorite survivors, including Ricard.
Oh yeah.
So get ready. It's going to be a blast. I'm excited. You're excited.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, like in the synergy, Lauren Beck is throwing a party in Los Angeles. And she's going to be with a bunch of survivors. So check my Twitter at Jonny Fairplay. I have a link to tickets to her deal. She's got Abby Maria is going to be there, and Sugar and PG and Shuby from the Circle. So many people. Check out Lauren Beck's party. Link in my Twitter. Kelly Wentworth and Lauren are throwing a party in Seattle. Bryce and Wendell they're having a party in New Jersey. I believe Omar's having a party in Florida. So anywhere across the United States, there's, if you want to watch Survivor with survivors, it's a really cool deal. We're going to be in Cincinnati. So anywhere within 12 hours of Cincinnati, I suggest come to Cincinnati and go to survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. Anyone that's been to one of our live viewing parties, they are a blast. It's something special to watch Survivor with survivors and other fans. And we're going to be hooting and hollering. And that venue, I've been told by so many people, is just off the chain. It might be one of the best venues we've done yet. It's going to be hard to beat Doghouse Saloon. Holy moly. We will be back in Nashville in April of next year for season 42. But yeah, go to survivortix.com. Tickets also available at survivorafterhours.com. However, the algorithm that Facebook uses, you want to end up in Facebook jail? Use the word after and hours together in any post on Facebook, and you will find yourself on the bad end of Facebook jail for whatever stupid reason. So go to survivortix.com. We have a little bit of housekeeping. I gotta address this. Alex, you can pull down the deal there. This was sent to me, and I feel remiss if I didn't mention it. This would typically be a Q&A type deal where we would address it there. And if you like this podcast, become a patron at ad-free. Oh, sorry, trying to type and
at adfree.nsfw.com.
Yes, and I'm going to put this for those of you watching right there on the screen. Go to adfree.nsfw.com to become a patron. The best way to support the podcast, and we just finished our coverage of Australian Survivor from 2018. We will be starting the next one very shortly. We had a run in on the finale episode by Matt Dyson. Was he the first boot?
Yes.
It was the first boot on Australian Survivor 2018, and I unmercifully shit on him. And Matt Bischoff, he did his fair share. Zach Hacker helped as well. But this is how cool the Survivor community is. Does a run in, nothing but love. I mean, and we're sitting here going, we have Australian Survivor 2018 as the top 10 season ever, and he's like, oh well, the next 3 are even better. And it's just like, whoa. So, but that's just how cool the Survivor community. But in addition to our Australian Survivor coverage we have on the Patreon deal, we also do a weekly Q&A, and we talk about stuff outside of Survivor or stuff on the peripheral of Survivor, or some things that maybe are just a little bit weird. And holy moly, I don't know if this blew past you guys or not. Spencer Bledsoe did an AMA.
Oh.
He did. I did not know.
He in fact did one.
Yeah. So Spencer is no longer Spencer.
No.
What's his new name?
I don't care.
Wait. Hold on. Spencer, elaborate.
Yes, he's now Raymond or Ryman, R-E-I-M-A.
It's something like that. I think it's pronounced Raymond.
Okay, yeah, R-E-I-M-A-N.
So he's now female.
No.
He changed his name.
He just
changed his name. Okay, so this has nothing to do with transgender stuff.
Not the name. Not the name.
Okay,
we're not there yet.
Okay, fill me in.
So the name, I think, is his middle name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Spencer never meant anything to him.
Okay.
And so he was just like, and he said his mom picked Spencer just out of the blue, like right as he was, and it meant nothing. And the other name meant something. And I think it was more of a family name. And so he likes that name. And it was like, okay, cool. And then there's a whole bunch of anti-vaccine thing. I'm not going to get into that because I it's your choice. Do what you want. I know people on each side of the fence, and I support everyone's decision. Do not care.
Right.
Okay. So it moves to spoiler alert from Raymond. I am not transitioning. I still identify as a male, but I'm nonetheless changed by the experiences I've had of transcending that identity. Today, I feel like a man and a woman inside a man. From the first time sky high on weed to the last time I got spiritually pegged by ayahuasca. So, Matt, you're the pegging expert. Can you?
So he says, I am not the pegging. I have never, for the record, I've never been pegged.
Well, that's rumor and innuendo.
But so he says he's been spiritually pegged.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this. This is all news to me. It's very.
Well, he's on a journey of reconnecting to his true self, who is multitudes, male, female, and everything in between. And I've been on a journey not of renouncing my male identity, but of holding it more loosely. So, hey, I just want to say kudos to Raymond. I would love to know how to pronounce your name. And,
I just think of ramen noodles.
Maybe it's ramen.
Well, let me just. So here's the thing. I actually
have been pegged.
No, I was a big fan of. I like Spencer's game, and I played Durham Warriors Survival Challenge with Spencer.
Okay.
So, nothing but love. I honestly, when I was playing out there with Spencer, I was expecting more of a personality. He was kind of quiet and shy, and he's definitely not some type A like Johnny or myself.
Yeah.
It was I don't know. I was not disappointed. I just was kind of like, is Spencer Bledsoe a little bit overrated as a Survivor player? Based on my interactions with him. I just was expecting more. Like when I met Kobe Archer, Kobe was badass. And I'm like, ooh, this motherfucker's dangerous. I love Kobe, but do I even trust him? But yeah, I just got not the best vibe. Nothing bad. I just think maybe this guy is overrated. But now, hey, Ramen Noodle Spencer, formerly known as Spencer, I'm excited to see what he says. Nothing but love.
Yes. So his No Hype Network says his AMA was such a disaster. It is, I think, the most downvoted AMA in the history of Survivor Reddit. If that
I don't know Reddit, but like I just saw the outburst from a lot of people. Just like it was really bad.
Yeah. It didn't play well. I don't think people there. I don't think there's an issue with whatever he's choosing to do.
It's other stuff that he's saying. Stuff.
Yeah. It's a but like as I said, I came to the pegging expert to just for a little intel, and I was hoping you could help us, Matt.
Yeah, I mean,
people are calling him Joe 2.0.
Joe Anglin 2.0.
Yeah, that's like the meanest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't ever go on Reddit at all. I don't even know what this. I mean, AMA is just like a Q&A. People ask him whatever.
Yeah,
and
he goes on and people ask questions.
Ask me anything.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. Well, we'll see what. Ramen. I mean, ramen noodles has to offer. I think a lot of people are going through. Well, we'll back it up. I mean, when I did that Durham Warrior Survival thing, there was a girl that I was on my tribe who actually started a mental health podcast for a period of time with Spencer. I forget what it was called, but they did a whole season and then it kind of dropped off. And I don't know if I don't think they're doing it anymore, but yeah, I don't know. No Hype Network said would be hilarious if Matt read his blog. I mean, maybe I should just do a fucking podcast about me reading people's AMAs and giving my 2 cents because
Devin asks, is Matt the pegging expert? Yes, absolutely.
And if you want to find out more
You're
about that, become a patron at adfreeNSFW.com. You'll learn so much more about these two through the Q&As. Their favorite podcast of the week.
It is. Well, anyways, enough of pegging and ramen noodles.
Yes, we have an episode to discuss.
Penultimate.
Oh God, son of a 2 of you. But do I have any friends here?
Oh
my God. Well, if you're not going to say it,
you're lucky. You both have idols. I would.
But so after Tribal Council, it's night 21. They come back to Sean. He is surprised that he got so emotional because this was. I mean, Alex and I last week did a long podcast, and I haven't been the biggest fan of this season. Like, it was at the beginning, first episode I loved, then it got a little bit kind of but I liked it.
Yeah.
But all the advantages and shit.
Finding advantages sitting beside your foot is a little disheartening.
That type of stuff. And like I said, when we're covering Australian Survivor on the Patreon side and I'm like watching them simultaneously next to one another, I'm like, Australian Survivor is better, in my opinion. Yeah. But I like this season. And last week it's been getting better. And last week was very powerful. I fucking loved the episode. And Alex and I got emotional just on the fucking podcast. I'm tearing up. I think Liana, she was voted out and Deshaun had this like dilemma of gameplay versus just his heart and soul and real life shit. And that's what kind of clashes when you play the game. As a viewer, you're like, how the fuck is this person doing this or that? You don't know what it's like until you're out there. You make connections with people on a deep level, so deep that Lex Vandenberg and Big Tom are best friends for the past 20 fucking years because they played a fucking game together.
Yeah, Lex has, 2 weeks of vacation that he saves up every year to not go to Rome or go to Hawaii he uses those 2 weeks of vacation to go to Big Tom's farm, to wake up at 5 a.m. and work on the farm like that. That's he works all year for that.
Yeah.
So and you know because of this, you know, he wants to be a part of, you know, this other guy and this friendship that was made on this silly TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's incredible. So and you know we hear a little later on, but you know Deshaun's big thing, you know, why was, you know, so emotionally crippling, you know. There is the culture aspect, you know, but him and Shan, they did have their clashes, you know, on lots of things, you know. I could only imagine so much more than what we saw. I think we got you know, the best of, so or you know, or at least most pertinent to the game that we're seeing. So, but with Liana, I don't think those clashes were there, and so seeing her go was seeing his sister go, and it's like, you know, and you know, I think, you know, Big Tom and Lex, you know, they would have a similar deal. It's just like, you know, Lex will tell you, Big Tom is his brother,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like that. They're, you know, they would, you know, push the other one out of the way and you know, and have a car hit them, you know, for the other one or anyone in their families.
Oh yeah. Right. So yeah, this is it shows how, like I said, how powerful this season is and these dilemmas.
And this
Um,
game.
And that's why I would say I'm not calling it a top like 10, top 5 season. I'm saying it's a better season than what people realize because they're too hampered on the 2 to 3 episodes in the pre-merge phase that had all the advantages and all the reading and all the, like you said, the idol at your foot. How many advantages have we seen come out that weren't just like a production twist in the game since merge? None. Like there's an idol out there, but no one's found it. The only thing that's came is an hourglass, which was not like, it was not preventable. It was in the game. The do or die twist in the game. There's been nothing else. It's been gameplay, and this conflict of gameplay versus culture versus personal. Like, what do you see? Because we see it from Deshaun, we see it from Erica. Like Erica in the mindset of, we haven't seen a woman win. I feel like I'm going against it by voting Shan out, by voting Leanna out. You have Deshaun talking about the bigger picture of someone who looks like me and the feeling you have of having to vote them out, even though you don't necessarily want to, because of that bigger picture.
Yeah. So, and I like when Danny first gets back from tribal, he goes, we got a few things to figure out.
Yeah.
I love Danny.
Danny,
I miss him already.
He makes his words count. Like, I don't feel like, because, you know, when we see the mad script, you know, when, you know, fast forward a little bit, you know, we'll backtrack, but, you know, fast forward to, it's either Danny or Deshaun. You see Deshaun just pleading his case to everybody. He's just like, here's the deal. We don't see Danny doing nothing because I don't think Danny was doing anything.
Yeah. And I don't think, I think Deshaun, I think, is more aware of the gameplay strategy, where I think, I'm sorry, Deshaun was all about gameplay and strategy, where Danny is about the competitiveness. I'm an NFL player. I'm doing my best. And I think he was playing a social game, but yeah, I don't think Danny is, I think he could have been fighting a lot more to stay in the game.
I think Danny is a big proponent of the less is more.
I love Danny, dude.
Yeah, I think Danny was in a predicament where I think he came in wanting to not be a big target because of the stigma of, you're the big jockish looking guy. You're obviously going to be the immunity threat and all that. So he's like, I need to be more low key, more laid back, have other people become these giant meat shields instead of myself being that meat shield.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you may also think like, well, I can't be too social either, because then they're going to be like, well, he's strong and he has a great social game. So it's like, maybe I talk to everyone, but I'm not putting the same amounts that Deshaun was putting in.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say he has a bad social game. He just,
no.
Right.
I think he just prescribes to the philosophy that less is more.
Right.
And also I think there's part of it. He's just like, he goes, all right, I got in, you know, good 5-6 words with each person. That's more than enough. Plus, if I over plead, then they're like, this guy absolutely doesn't have an idol. And he wants people to think that he potentially has an idol.
Well, Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, also, it's just something to say about his game and Shan's game. The only time they've been had a vote cast against him was the vote that they go home.
Yeah.
Like they're like yet you have to count that into social game because he wasn't the one blowing up. Deshaun was the one who's been constantly blowing up and being big theatrics at Tribal. These like last 4, he's been a big component where Danny's able to, like you said, less is more, and he just sits back, stays calm. You never see him shake or like Dieter. He's always just calm and direct with what he says, and he means what he says.
Well, Deshaun and Danny are talking like they're pissed that Xander didn't vote out Ricard. Like they're like, why isn't Ricard gone? Right. And even Zander is like, I want Ricard out next. And Zander then, realizes that maybe it was like not the best move to not get Ricard out. It's like newsflash. Ricard, I mean, he was your winner pick, wasn't he, Johnny?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that guy is
something else.
He's awesome. And I don't know. It was funny because we're watching and my wife's like, there's something mystical about Ricard. He just has this like
glow.
that. Yeah, this aura of
it's the Voci shirt.
It's just it's very interesting. I think there's a lot more to Ricard than we actually are seeing on the show.
I think they're doing an amazing job of showing you how great a player Ricard is. And I love that because like he's getting the credit he deserves and they're showing why he deserves that credit.
Right.
But I would like a little more of, we see this dude smiling 90% of the time. Why is this guy smiling? And why are the people he's talking to, why are they smiling talking to him? I want that part of the game shown to me. And because I don't think they're smiling. They're just like, you're so good. And and you bring nothing else to the table. You're just really good at Survivor. I don't think that's it. I think he's just like this really special person that we've only seen him be. And as I said, congrats for letting us know that he's a great player. You're doing a good job of showing all those steps in that, but you're missing the person.
But here's the deal. Do you think that there was really not a villain on this season? And so they're like, we have to only edit the really serious parts of Ricard to keep that villain kind of role where people won't like him, like certain people?
No, I think they're scared to show a gay villain in 2021.
Which I think goes against the point.
Yes,
like
it's 1000% against.
It's the like. I don't want to be like the PC and all that. No, it's just that. We want everyone to feel like we're at the same level. Like that's the whole point of like all these movements that are going on. Is people want to feel like they're not sitting in the children's seat. They're all sitting at the same seat at the same table. They get the same thing.
Yeah, but we're all wearing our big boy pants, and big boys can be good guys and bad guys.
Yeah, and like Ricard is the villain, but like they're not showing it. And I hate using the word villain because when I say villain, I mean like the great game players are considered villains because they're able to put personal.
That's what I'm saying. I love a villain
out of it.
Yeah, that's what makes good TV.
Like Ricard literally goes in Tribal and he's like, "Yeah, I had a really good conversation with Deshaun," and Jeff says, "Would you still vote him out?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a villain. But they're just tiptoeing around it. And like I think if Ricard was Jonny Fairplay, you would get a totally different edit. If I was doing every single thing Ricard is doing right now, everything.
So my thing now is I was talking to my friends. I was like, if Ricard doesn't go out this episode, I feel like there is a very strong chance he's the winner of the remaining group because of just how they've told the stories. I can't see them setting up Erica as the winner. I feel like they're doing the whole like, oh, a woman hasn't won yet. It's not going to be Erica. It's not going to be Heather. So, neither of them are winning.
It better not, or I'm done with the podcast.
Yeah. You have Xander, who we all think is playing a good game. Like, has he made mistakes? Yes, but he's played a good game, but no one's even trying to burn his idol, and I think it's because they don't respect him. They don't think much of him there on the island.
Yeah,
You have
which is
Deshaun.
so strange.
Oh, it's so strange.
But I think he's done a good job of hiding what makes him great from them.
Yeah, but that might be.
But not the viewer. I think they've done a good job through his confessionals showing us it's just like there's a lot more here than what you would guess and what they're potentially seeing. And I think case in point, they're not even trying to flush this idol because they're just like, this kid has no chance.
Right. And I think he could be someone who's sitting at the end because like he wins the fire making.
Yeah.
And
he could potentially win with an amazing jury speech if their ears are open to listen to it.
And I'm not sure if they will be. Because like I think they had certain people at this point. Like we see when Danny goes, you see the jury all like put their heads down because they're like, man, we wanted him to get there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I mean,
which goes against your point, Johnny, because they didn't know that he was an NFL player at that point. I think he had a very strong chance of winning that $1 million.
Yeah, but Deshaun would have blown that shit up.
I don't think Deshaun would have blown that up.
I thought he was going to blow it up tonight.
That's exactly what I thought the truth bomb was.
That's what I thought
Jonathan's
too.
over there going crazy. I feel sorry for Jonathan's britches right now. You know he comes eat a little bit
right now. I mean, for me, I think I like Deshaun a lot. I like Xander and I like Ricard. If any of those three win, I'm satisfied. If Heather wins or Erica wins, No Hype Network says, "Oh, I'm going to remember that, Matt." Like basically, I'm done fucking podcasting about if those two people win. Not. I'm just kidding. But I really do not want them to win. But I tell you what.
Did you like the Danny analogy? Is like man, like the move was Ricard. It's like taking out Tom Brady. But no, we playing kickball instead.
Oh, yeah. Well, Matt is a newly reconverted football fan.
That's true.
I am. I got my Houday buttons down here that I wore.
I was gonna wear my Cowboys gear, but I own none because I hate them.
Same.
Well, we go.
I love Danny. I'll say that.
So we go to a scene with.
Actually, for the record, I don't hate the Cowboys. I just hate most of their fans. You guys are ridiculous. And Steeler fans, you're the same, and you both understand it. So because you can look around and go, "Oh yeah, I see what he's talking about." Yeah. So, but there's, Dallas is okay. Pittsburgh's great. So, but Steeler fans, you guys suck.
So we go to this scene with Deshaun and Heather. They're talking, and it's kind of a realization. And Heather later says that the reason that she's meant to be out here was for this epiphany of she's totally clueless of what's going on with how emotional Deshaun got and why things are the way they are culturally and shit.
Wait, Matt. Heather's glad she's a part of this season, and the viewers have been. I can't even finish that with the screen.
I'm just glad. I'm glad though that we got the epiphany of people have layers.
Yes,
I was like dying on the couch. I love you, Heather, but it's just funny because I get it. It's coming from a good place.
It is,
yeah. And so like I don't want to like completely dig on her, but I'm just like. You didn't know people have layers? We learned it from Shrek.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, like onions. We got layers.
Do you think Heather even realized that she was part of a diverse cast up until this fucking moment in time?
Maybe not.
I literally think she might have been totally clueless. But we see this, and I
have a gut feeling that Erica spray tans. And Heather spray tans. And she might have been actually literally sitting there until like day 20, whatever, going, I just figured some of them spray tan a little more than me.
She may have. But I tell you, I like how the first part of tonight's episode is kind of wrapping up and putting a conclusion to this dramatic tribal council that we have. It's this storyline that we've had. And
for a few episodes now, so it's a big bow on that, and coming out of that, we did have Ricard going, Xander's such a loyal guy, followed by Xander going, Ricard is next.
Yeah.
Ricard doesn't win immunity. He's next, but he's out of here.
Oh, Alex with the impressions.
And then
Well, I wish
Deshaun,
I could do an impression of Xander in other ways right now.
Oh, you know who I was talking to today?
Who?
King George,
No.
my new best friend.
Yes.
Oh my god! And King George hurt my feelings so bad. Peek behind the curtain. Sorry.
so inform the people that are listening to the podcast that probably have zero idea who King George is.
Plenty of people know who King George is.
Who is he?
No comments on how he does on the season.
Nope.
Is he Australian Survivor?
This past season, he is the.
He is a character.
He is.
Dude, I cannot wait. If anyone spoils it, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Australian Survivor is so fucking great.
So I put I put you're one of the greatest castaways of all time, and what is that buzzing? Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that buzzing?
No,
I heard like a beep.
Okay. Anyway, I said you're one of the greatest castaways of all time. He goes, "Hi, you were dead set one of my favorites when I was a teen."
Yeah, that shows how old Fairplay season is at this point.
Yeah.
Season 50. Come on, bring him back.
And I was like, I always thought Dirty Harry is my Australian doppelganger, but he's like 6'2". He goes, "I'm 5'7". Like, there we go.
Yeah.
So my guy's King George.
Yeah. So we already talked about like the Erica conversation as well. So we could probably move forward to day 22 reward challenge.
Basketball game is what it is. It's the basketball challenge. It's for chicken and veggies, or cake and cookies.
Yeah.
And
I don't want any of that. I want a love letter.
Oh, love letters.
I know.
I will call this, as I typically do, the 2 teams of 3 to fuck up someone's game reward.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even have the. I mean, I don't know how long they were gone, but I felt like, I guess 26 days you're speeding shit up, so you can't do the overnight deal to fuck up an alliance. But I don't know. I feel like there could have been a little more. But I guess whatever they attempted to accomplish, they accomplished.
Yeah.
No, I think Deshaun's right. Letters from home right here would have been the perfect time.
Especially for him at that moment where he spent these last like 5 to 6 days at this like emotional wreck because of all these decisions that he's having to make. Yeah. Having that letter could really ground him again and then push him forward. And you just see Jeff just like making fun of him.
Yeah. And you know, because Piper's watching with me, and Piper's like, you know, this should be the loved ones. So I was like, no, COVID. No loved ones.
Which sucks because the loved one visit is one of the best episodes.
But we still could have got some of that by way of
letters.
Zoom or something. They could have. Yes.
I think letters would have done it.
Yeah.
These people know how to read. This is a good cast. I mean, they didn't cast a bunch of dummies.
Yeah, they screwed up on this one because I think a lot
Bischoff mispronouncing everybody's name.
Yeah, I just there was a loved one type deal on, if you want to tune into our ad-free NSFW and watch our Australian Survivor coverage. The loved one visit was on point. It was floodgates. I'm a sensitive man, and I cried my fucking eyes out watching this shit. And I do every time on American Survivor.
I cried for 20 minutes today on Australian this past season.
Oh, the most recent season?
20 minutes of tears, just nonstop. Could, like, one person don't even care, and I'm just, and I probably cried the most for that person.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm like, you motherfuckers.
So I do want to know, because we ultimately see Deshaun wins it for himself, Erica, and Xander. Do you guys think Danny threw
the challenge?
Yeah,
just so
because like the whole point is to make sure Ricard doesn't win immunity.
Oh, maybe.
So like, don't feed him.
Once they drew rocks and he was on Ricard's, maybe. But
and then he also sees Heather's on the team, so he's just like, come on.
Yeah,
like there's a window here, because it was just so weird seeing Heather comes out of the water. Danny's not in the back; he's at the front of all the boards. So like when Ricard misses, it goes for a while.
And I was surprised that Danny like stepped out of the challenge Like Danny, I know he's a football player, but still, he's an extreme athlete. So I was like,
why
why is he giving up on shooting the basket so easily and saying, "Come on in, Ricard"?
So I have a theory on this, and you guys know about it. It's like when you go on Survivor, like you have a lot of people who go in and they're in this tip top shape, but they have very little fat to lose.
Yeah.
And just going all these days, and it's eating away at his muscle because he didn't have a lot of fat.
Yeah.
You're like, you look imposing, but you're so weak because you have nothing in your system that it impacts you more than like you see him versus Deshaun. Deshaun had more stuff to lose.
Yeah.
So he had more energy.
So I think both those things are a possibility. So I think, Deshaun has more to work with right now with the added size he came in with, and he potentially just threw it just so Ricard couldn't get the energy and calories.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Did not work.
But I like the pitch. So no, it was as I said, it was just there to potentially fuck up someone's game by breaking up the 6 people into 2 groups of 3.
Yeah, and they made the right choice though with the which option they picked.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
You always
you're like, oh, grilled chicken and veggies, or do you want cake and candy and cookies?
I would have punched the other people that fucking sit because it's all you like when you're sitting there in the shelter and people that do nothing. I mean, I would go get wood, but there's plenty of people that sit around the shelter do absolutely nothing. All they talk is like, oh, I want chocolate chip cookies and all that. And that's the person sitting beside you going, hey, Jeff, or Jeff going, hey, what do you want? Do you want chicken, and something that would be good, to power you through, or do you want cookies and cake? The same shit that everyone that's done nothing laying around camp has been talking about for 20 days. Like, well, cake and cookies sound good, huh? It's like, are you insane?
I could see though if there was if this would have been in a different season where it was 5-on-5 and there was 3 females, 2 men, that because the girls typically on Survivor are begging for sweets.
Yeah,
I could see a scenario where they choose the cake and cookies over the chicken.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see it in this season, even if it was a 5-on-5 with the very little that they do get, and then only being on.
They are fucking them on the season pretty good.
Yeah, I'm give me those veggies and chicken. I would have been acting like Xander, saying that's my candy there. That's actually gonna fuel me.
Same.
But I still would have rather if I had the choice. I would do what Deshaun wanted. I would rather have a letter from home versus food.
Not me. So Angela Miller, one of the first patrons, will be in Cincinnati next week. Why didn't they negotiate for some of both? Jeff's not going to do that.
No.
And also, Deshaun's more focused on negotiating for a letter.
Yeah, I mean, if Deshaun can't get one letter, I mean, like he was literally ridiculed for asking for a letter, and I'm like, this guy's asking for good television, and you're making fun of him.
I don't
no,
Jeff's
crazy.
favorite thing ever, the loved ones visit. Family.
Is it?
When he gets to figure out how he can describe what a hug is. It's I've never seen that before as 2 sisters are hugging. I'm like, you haven't seen
hugging.
this?
I go to Pornhub. There's all kinds of sisters hugging. It's amazing. Oh my God. Sisters caught under tables. They're caught. Well, those are stuff.
So at this reward, they're feasting on their chicken and veggies, and Erica and Zander, they really want Ricard out next. And Deshaun is he's pretending that he's with them, even though he's not 100% with them. There's technically a potential final 3 here. But Deshaun is at least, I don't really know 100%.
Yeah. Well, Deshaun says, Eric, Xander and Erica, they pitch Ricard. Deshaun says yes, but doesn't exactly trust them. And before we talk about the idol search, let's get a quick word from our sponsors.
Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym.
I am so happy that Lucy is sponsoring us. Ever since they came on board, I have gotten no less than 5 of my friends transitioned over to Lucy and put their cigarettes down. They like the gum. I'm used to seeing the packages all around. This stuff is great, and it's really helping people make much healthier choices. So get on board and join the Lucy movement.
Hey, it's 2021. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple that you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code SURVIVOR.
This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
We are back. Oh yeah, we are back. Johnny is gone. He's probably maybe possibly given a golden shower or something like that. I don't know.
Ad-free NSFW.com, folks.
Yeah. So it's day 22. It's the reward time. They're feasting. And like I said, Eric and Zander wanting Ricard out. Deshaun acts like he's with them, but doesn't know to trust him. And then back at camp, we see the reward. But then at camp, you have Heather and Ricard, who are we see them making fire. And they're like, where is Danny? Because Danny is out on an idol search. Danny knows, look, I know that an idol was played and there's got to be something out here. So I need to find one. And so I give props to him for going out and trying to find it. Unfortunately, he doesn't find it. I was wondering if they were going to show him find it
later. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I was like, Ryder, do you think that he found it? He's like, maybe they're doing that to add suspense for TV.
I like it when they don't show it when they're looking and then show it. Like, I think that's a good device. Like, as long as they don't do it every time, I'm cool with that device.
Right.
So,
right.
and this is one of those where it's like, did he or didn't he? And so, like,
and Ricard's paranoid. He looks in Danny's bag, which we've had the discussion of is it appropriate on the game of Survivor to search someone's bag in this situation? Johnny typically is not a fan of that, if I'm correct, Johnny?
I have always been of the belief that I don't feel that it's in the spirit of the game to look in a bag. However, I've seen enough people do it. And if I were to go back, I would now look in a bag just because I know everyone else is. And if I don't, I'm an idiot.
100% in agreement.
But I hate it. I cannot fucking stand it.
But I what I do think is great is even though Ricard looks in the bag and says, I don't think he has it, but he's like, but he probably could have hid it.
Yeah.
He maybe not be that dumb to leave it in his bag thinking that someone might go through it. So
yeah,
that is pretty cool.
I have a question. Oh no, sorry. Wrong thing. Here we go. Sean Lecomte, new patron at adfreenSFW.com. You can join Sean and become a new patron too. Speaking of idols, did Xander's idol expire at the final 6? I don't think so because it's 5. And Jeff usually says it's your last chance to play the idol.
And in the preview for the finale, the first thing you see is people scrambling trying to find the last idol.
Yeah, and I don't think it begins with them going to the island going, hey, all previous idols have expired. There's one new one here. I think there's just one new one and any existing idols. Tonight would have been a good night to flush Xander's idol, but once again, they have no respect for his gameplay.
Yeah, they just see him as someone who's there. They don't see him as a leader. They don't see him as someone who's truly making the decisions. And he may, like you said, he may be able to pull off a really good final tribal speech and get votes.
I think he can if they're listening.
Yeah, if they're listening. I just don't know. I just don't know with him. I feel like he's done enough though, where I'm like he's someone who's on the list. For like a returnee.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. And Sean says, by the way, no guarantee that what Danny didn't find was not. So what if Danny found a thing saying if you get voted, if you get voted out, you're not out. You're
so the God idol?
Like if you get voted out, you're going to some like Redemption Island type place.
Yeah, and that Redemption Island is where everyone else ends up. I don't know.
Probably
not in this season where there's only 26 days.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, we're going into a final episode with 5 people, and this goes down to a final 2.
No, it's final 3 still.
Is it final 3?
Yeah, they said 2 immunities, 2 tribals, and a fire making. So I think he's considering the fire making part of the second tribal.
Okay, I thought
because then it would have to be 3 immunities.
Okay. So I thought he was saying 2 and then fire making. So then that would take us to a final 2 instead of a final 3.
So we see this clip of Erica where she is worried that people are going to think that her and Heather's game are kind of the same game. Like, explain that, Alex.
That's me saying that's them telling the viewers she's not winning. Because what have the viewers seen of Heather's game other than that she's a wallflower?
Yeah.
So Erica, you're now saying you're a wallflower. Well, you're not. Let's be real, she's not. We made jokes saying oh, she's not a good game. She's been a part, a pretty pivotal part of votes these last not the leader, but a good portion of that is her as a deciding factor on which person goes. But the fact that she thinks that Heather's playing just as good a game as her, just because they're working together, is a bad read.
Well, I think that's a bad read on her part, but that's a smart read on Deshaun's part, recognizing that Erica thinks that she's playing a great game, and Deshaun's like, well, you and Heather are playing a very comparable game.
But you guys have been lockstep. You guys that could hurt you at the end.
Yeah, and she's just like, oh, Heather's playing a pretty good game too, huh? And he's just like, whatever words you need to use.
Mhm.
You have your vocabulary, I have mine.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that was so telling. So I was like, yeah, I think neither is a winning game, but I think their games
No.
are very comparable.
Yeah, they both are worthless. I'm
Thanks.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. So Heather's game is worthless. Heather's game is worthless. Erica is at least playing the game.
Heather's watching the podcast.
Oh shit! She's gonna hate Heather. I can't wait to hang out. I imagine you're great.
You're worthless. I can't wait to hang out with you.
But I mean, honestly, I was like, we're gonna go to the immunity challenge, which I was actually impressed with Heather's.
Yeah, she got through it.
She did. I was like, there's no way she's even gonna make it across this balance beam. But this immunity challenge, you have to like spin out this like rolling spool. It's like a rope.
It
and
was
then-
fucking field day. I look over at Piper. I go, "Hey, was this your field day thing last year?" And she was like, "No, ours is a little more complicated."
Yeah, I mean,
It's dizzy bad.
Not ragging on. I mean, this is the.
Did they chug a beer? That's what they do in middle school now. They chug
I
a
mean,
beer.
they're so deprived of stuff now that it's essentially like they had like a whole case of beer.
So you got to unspool yourself. You got to go across a rope, like a rope obstacle, and then a zigzag balance beam where you get puzzle pieces and you build this 7-word phrase puzzle. Okay. So what I think is beautiful about this challenge is it's making you dizzy, but we find out that as Ricard is spinning out through the first part of the challenge, like if I'm on this challenge, I'm going to be real. All I'm thinking about is, okay, I got to do the first part, and then I got to go across this, and then I'm gonna think about the puzzle when I get to the puzzle. Ricard is so brilliant of a player that while he is meetspin.com around this rope,
Check it out, folks. You love it.
don't. I'm sorry, but he is thinking. We find out he is thinking about the words because Jeff said it's a 7-word phrase of like four letter words.
Yeah.
So he is thinking what 4-letter words have been throughout this game while he's doing the thing. That is very just great gameplay in my opinion.
Here's my notes as soon as the challenge begins. I go, looks like field day for immunity. The key to that puzzle is looking for survivor themed 4-letter words like vote and fire, and then build around that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I wrote in my notes as soon as Jeff explained the challenge.
Yeah,
Great
so
minds think alike.
that's right. And
It just shows to the viewer because we keep being told that Ricard's a good game player, and as the season has gone on, we've seen him make moves. We've seen him be able to gain trust of people so that he doesn't go out at 7 when he was the obvious person to vote out at 7. Now he's at final 6 and he's showing like I studied, like I did my homework for these competitions, so I know what I need to be thinking about as I'm doing these immunity challenges. And there's a reason why he's won 3. And he's a fan, not a super fan. Like we don't need people who are like, oh, I'm the nerd, I'm the fan of. I've seen every single episode 6 times backwards.
I don't need Gabby from David vs. Goliath references.
But it's like he understands the game and is a fan of it, and I think that just makes him that much more dangerous because he has the capabilities physically and mentally to do all of these.
I'll tell you who Ricard is. So you guys, like, obviously I want to talk about this again next week, the Survivor finale. We're going to be at Bishop's Quarter in Loveland, Ohio for the finale. In Cincinnati, Ohio. Loveland is a little suburb. It's a fucking hip town. Come watch the show with Jonny Fairplay and myself. And what Johnny and I have said when we did the premiere episode at Micah's place in Play Louisville, we have said, man, we have some cool fans. We have some cool fucking patrons, and people that come to our viewing parties are people that like to fuck each other. What did you say, Johnny?
No, they've willingly had sex with someone without money exchanging hands.
Yes, essentially, we're joking around. We have our reality NSFW community. We have some cool fucking fans. So when you were saying that Ricard is a fan, but not some like total, weirdo type person, Ricard is the exact kind of person that I would see and meet at a reality NSFW viewing party, like a Zach Hacker or an Alex Trias, coming over and just watching and loving the show and having a great time. That is the kind of player that Ricard is, and that's why we respect him, and that's why he's such a gamer, but he's not all nervous like, oh my God, I'm such a huge fucking fan. Oh, there's Jeff Probst. He's playing a very intense game and a very methodical game. That's why I love Ricard.
We're seeing that's the difference between Ricard and JD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And really, we made a note a couple episodes ago about Danny, like when he re-showed his preseason of like what his strategy was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, hey, look, he's actually doing it to a T. Ricard's also doing that. Ricard was like, I don't want to show out in challenges at the like during the team phase or the tribe phase of the game. But once we hit merge and it's individual, I plan to just go hard and win everything.
Yeah.
Now I have a question for you. So it's so funny because like we're watching and my wife is like, God, like this Heather person and Erica is just kind of worthless, right? and it's like they're at the end of the game though, right? So like she's saying like, fuck, I should just go on Survivor and purposely do shitty as hell in the challenges, purposely be just like, oh, I don't know who do you guys want to vote for? Do you think someone could win the game of Survivor playing a game that's completely on purpose to be the biggest like Heather type player ever, but in the confessionals?
Yeah,
I know Michelle Fitzgerald, right? Did the kind of a game?
Michelle tried. No, Sandra Diaz-Twine.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like nowadays, like that seems like a good strategy, dude.
I feel like Heather's very comparable to Sandra.
Sandra's way better. I know you did drag on. I love Sandra. Sandra has intense gameplay and I feel using her brain and knows the game.
Well, I feel Erica is playing more of a Sandra game mentally, but physically Heather is embodying it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. But
so no wonder they're playing. So that's why they're playing the game. You form them together, and they're Sandra.
Collectively they're Sandra, and we just discussed 5 minutes ago how amazing their gameplay is collectively.
Well, Ricard wins, and I think people are like, "Oh shit!"
But once again, hey, it can work because look at Pro Islands. Sandra and Lil or Erica and Heather.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them can win the game.
Yeah, except in the modern age, you would be there with them. Because
and that's why they changed it from Final 2 to Final 3 because of situations like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. They don't. Yeah, good props. Jeff Probst, you actually did something good for once instead of Hourglass Twist and Luck of the Draw, fucking Deshaun fucking challenges and whatever the hell. I'm just glad there's no fire tokens this season. Yeah. So Deshaun and Danny, they're pissed because Ricard was not voted out. Ricard now has immunity. Ricard is someone who could win this game easily.
Xander did throw Russell's hat in the fire, and I will always appreciate that.
You know what? That is an impressive game move.
Yes. So, yeah, kudos to the queen.
So when Ricard asks Danny, like I love that he said, "Hey, Ricard, you kind of had a pep in your step. You were coming back to camp. I think you might have an idol. Do you have one?" And Danny gives a vague kind of answer. He doesn't say yes. He doesn't say no. He just kind of like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. And that's when Ricard looks through Danny's bag.
Yeah.
Doesn't find it. And then this is where Xander finally admits, wow, I'm coming to the realization that maybe not voting out Ricard was a mistake.
I don't think that's the case.
It's results-oriented logic.
Yeah. I mean, you hear Danny and Deshaun complaining about this only because if Ricard goes at last tribal and Liana stays, it's it's Danny and Deshaun calling all the shots for the rest of the season.
Oh, right.
Xander has no shot with those guys.
Like, I think in their logic, they're like, yes, you're at like what you said is absolutely right, but they're also being like, don't you guys want to have a chance to win immunity? Like, you get rid of Ricard, that opens up the table because no one else has won multiple times.
Yeah,
and like now everyone else who has won, except Erica, is out.
Whereas I think Danny could have won more than he tried for.
Mm-hmm.
Xander's right. Like, you're sitting there, it's just like, oh, who has?
I think Zander was a little more overconfident in his ability. Like he was in the mindset of, I can beat Ricard at anything if I truly want to. Yeah. So he went into this challenge truly wanting to beat Ricard, and then fails. So your instant reaction is going to be like, wow,
maybe I should.
Maybe I made the wrong choice.
Yeah. Once again, the Xander impressions don't end.
So now Erica, she's wanting the vote to either be on Danny or Deshaun.
No, she wants it to just be on Danny. She downplays Deshaun, and Ricard's not buying it because I don't think they did an amazing job of showing what Ricard's think, but Ricard's like, she's selling me some shit here. She's trying to keep Deshaun. So, but I don't think they were really blatant with that storytelling. Mm-hmm. If you're smart, you got it. If you're not, so
it also just makes more sense to, like, I feel like he feels just in general that Deshaun's a bigger threat to him than Danny. Yeah. So once someone says like, oh, Deshaun's not a threat, you're immediately going to be like, no, that's not true because I know he's a threat.
Yeah. So and then as I mentioned earlier, we see Deshaun politicking everywhere, but not Danny. But so and then going into Tribal right before they're about to leave, how great is Ricard's hair looking? Jeez Louise.
Well, not as good as yours, Johnny. You got those trailer park roots covered up. You don't need to worry about getting fired now from your realtor job. You're fucking platinum blonde. You got your Botox. You got your fucking Robert Allen tagged us in our Patreon about these new penis wipes that are going around. Shout out to Robert's wife Camille, who's watching. So Johnny, what is the key to your beauty? You're 47 years old. I got some. When I smile, I'm like, fuck. I got some wrinkles here. I just actually shaved the side of my face. I'm rocking the goatee, so it looks like I'm going to need an updated pop socket stats.
Yeah, just honest living, just being a good person, doing the right things in life, helping other people. I just feel that's
okay. And before we go to the last stuff before this episode, I want to mention a couple things. One, Jonny Fairplay, you are on a new upcoming show that you post on your social media. I'm assuming this is public.
Yes.
Is this correct? So Steve Harvey is doing a new kind of judge and jury type show on primetime television.
ABC Tuesday nights. It's a 1-hour show beginning Tuesday, January 4th. So I think the season 1 lifespan of the show, we'll see how many seasons it goes. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a hit. People love Steve Harvey. So season 1 is like January through April, maybe. Mm-hmm. And so I think my episode is slotted for sweeps, which would be like end of February, beginning of March.
So Johnny, if you guys want to hear more details behind the scenes of this experience Johnny has, go to ad-free NSFW, become a patron. This is the type of shit that we talk about on our Q&As. But Johnny's going to be on that. And then I saw today, Fairplay and Alex, a new, I believe it's a CBS primetime show. It's a Survivor-like game that was filmed in October of last year, or of this year, just a month ago in Panama or Peru or some shit.
No, Panama, where they filmed Pearl Islands
it's just Panama. Yeah, so it's a Survivor-like game. Location. So it's going to be celebrities playing a Survivor-like game.
Yes.
What are your guys' initial thoughts on this?
They're still missing on getting a good Colton on a show.
So you don't think this show is going to? Do you know anything about it, Johnny? Do you have rumor and innuendo, Johnny?
No, I have no. I thought you were going to talk about Mark Long's reality stars cooking show.
No, I was talking about. I saw
available.
today.
No. I saw it. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
and then there's a Celebrity Big Brother coming up.
Yeah, Celebrity Big Brother. I'm excited about.
And then Survivor season 42.
I'm excited about.
Me too.
So I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here. I don't know if you remember that show. I think that was on Fox. That was one of the worst train wreck, horribly done shows I've ever seen in my entire life. Mm-hmm. So if it's anything like that, see the issue with a Survivor-based show, like Survivor, like people are just like, dude, you did Survivor. What's it like? I'm like, it fucking sucks. Like it's not like challenges are fun. That's about it.
Yeah, like one of the rumored cast members is Meta World Peace.
Yeah,
who quit Celebrity Big Brother.
Who quit Celebrity Big Brother living in the house. So like, I mean, like, you know, challenges are fun and destroying people's dreams are fun, but otherwise you're bored, you're miserable, you're starving, you're uncomfortable, you're like it, you know, I've been like, they're filming exactly where I guarantee they're using the same island I was on for Pearl Islands, right? Mm-hmm. It's miserable. So unless they cater to, there's no way these fucking asshole fucking celebrities are gonna do what I did out there.
No, it's gonna be a modified version. Like we hear the wrong rumors of Australian Survivor. They have toilets and catering and all that. They probably have that for this show.
Yeah. So no.
Well, actually, they do have a fucking toilet on Australian Survivor. Matt Dyson said it.
Yeah.
Like it's not a toilet, but it's
I know.
It's a fucking hole in the ground. Which would be a way better. I take that back. Honestly,
just
fair play. You and I have played Survivor. If you had toilet paper and a hole in the ground that leads to a fucking just giant shithole, I would use that. However, if we take aqua dumps on Survivor, you go in the ocean, you take your fucking pants off, you shit. When I shit for the first time, I'm like, oh God, I'm in the Philippines. I'm looking out at the fucking horizon. Waves are coming in, and I like squeeze a turd out, and the shit floats up to the fucking water, and the waves are coming, and I'm like, oh my fucking, I'm laughing my balls off that I'm in the middle of the fucking ocean doing this shit. But I'm cleaning myself with salt water and everything else. So honestly, that's probably the better way of shitting versus a toilet. If you don't have toilet paper, wouldn't you guys think?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out. Like they're so like it wasn't Survivor, and I think it's just gonna pain me to watch these assholes not play Survivor under the guise of Survivor. Mm-hmm. So if there's celebrities that are fucking gung ho, they're like, hey, I'm gonna fucking do this. Let's go. You know, cool. I'm for it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch it. I mean, fuck, I do a reality television podcast network. I'm going to watch it. But if they're fucking pampered in any way, and if it's under the guise of Survivor and is the exact opposite, I'm going to shit on it.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the final part of this episode, but I did want to talk about that because for fans of Survivor, it's big news. There's a Survivor-like show, and since we love reality television here on Reality NSFW, most likely someone will be covering it, but it will be interesting to see how it plays out for sure.
Very shocked Meta World Peace agreed to be a part of this after. I mean, like he just flat out just bolted out of Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, but before we hit Tribal, we do get one last thing, and Deshaun and Danny are realizing it's going to be one of them. And we've been wondering, has Danny told anyone that he was an NFL player?
Or has anyone figured it out?
Yeah. And so he just drops it on Deshaun. And Deshaun, I think Deshaun took it well. He was like, yo, that's awesome. Because they see each other's brothers. And I thought that was a sweet moment.
I loved it. It was probably my favorite part of this entire episode.
And also, if I was in Danny's shoes, I would also want to be able to do a humble brag to someone. I'm on the way out, guys. I played on the Cowboys.
Yeah. It would kill me.
So I think Deshaun is a great social player. I really do. I think that if Deshaun he has a good chance of winning if he can somehow get to the end. I
don't think he's good at tribal though.
I don't know. Yeah. I think he's good until he gets a tribal. And then
I know he blows it up.
So let's
do it.
We're in tribal, and Deshaun's just like, yeah, I think it's gonna be me or it's gonna be Danny. It's gonna be one of us. They're gonna split the vote on us. We're probably gonna have to vote for each other. Then they're gonna choose which one of us. Probably gonna be me. So let's have fun and let's. I'm gonna have a smile on my face and drop some bombs.
Yeah, and Donathan was going crazy. He goes as soon as he goes, here comes a truth bomb. I'm just like, yay, Donathan!
Oh
yeah. I was scared it was going to be blowing up Danny's spot. It was not. It was ratting out Erica. That she's going to target Heather before the end of the game, and said when the conversation took place to add validity to the statement, and Erica. Kind of fessed up to some degree. She goes, well, I mean, like final three.
I hear, and Jeff says, do you have any last paragraphs to your
last
game?
paragraph of your game?
Yeah. So Danny basically then says look, hey, I'm proud of my game. I did great in challenges. I'm a competitor. I'm proud. Right. But then Deshaun, is answering the same question, and he answers it. This is why I think Danny is the competitive, athletic guy, but Deshaun is a little bit more thinking game and strategy, etc. And he says to Heather, Erica is not going to take Heather till the end. He completely, like you said, does the truth bomb. Calling that out, is that a huge target? I mean, I know Ricard says, dude, you could have just blown up your game. Do you think this is the nail in the coffin for the future for Deshaun? These things that he says at Tribal?
Well, I'm not sure, because I've been going through the season in my head now as we approach the finale, since we're at Johnny's favorite word, the penultimate. So Deshaun, I feel did that because I think in his mind, he thought he was the one for sure going home anyway at that point. So he's like, let me just do it. Try to do something that will help Danny, because then eyes are going to be on the Erica Heather situation. Eyes are still going to be on Ricard. People aren't going to look at Danny then. Right. And that's good. So I think it was him trying to do a solid for his island brother. But the other thing you have to remember is, all he has to do is get past this next round, and he can at least go to fire. But we do have to remember, second episode of the season, he's trying to make fire of Erica. Can't make fire. He says, you should bring me the final four. I can't make fire.
See, this is why we have you, Alex Trias.
Foreshadowing.
It's like what we're talking about. It's all about long-term storytelling on this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I'm going to probably, honestly, it's weird. When you do a podcast on Survivor, it's a very different experience versus just watching it doing a podcast. I used to watch it with my family and not take any notes and just enjoy it for what it was. Now it's more dissecting it. So it'll be interesting to go back after the season on Paramount Plus and do what Jonny Fairplay said. Look at it from a binge standpoint, to watch it, mow them all down in a Saturday and Sunday in the wintertime after New Year's, and watch it like that. Not take any notes, but give really a different perspective. I think I really want to do that, because I think I'm literally tainted about how great Australian Survivor was, to where I'm like, oh God, even the challenges, the challenge tonight was just the fucking meat spin challenge and stuff. Yeah, it just wasn't that great.
But you can make an argument that they're not casting the same type of appeal. They're you literally, the season that you just watched and the season you're going to is called Champions versus Contenders. So they're trying to bring a bunch of behemoths onto the show and let's put them to work. In this show, they're more looking who are the fans? Who are the fans of the show? Who are the people who will play the game? And then we're just going to throw a bunch of crap at them anyway. We don't need to put these ridiculous challenges in. We can do more straightforward stuff,
Yeah. Right. Well, at the end of the day, it's a 3-3 tie. between Deshaun and Danny. They do a revote, and it is Danny that goes home. I love Danny, and I knew from the get-go that this guy was going to be in the game for a long time, based off of his T-shirt promotion on his page.
Oh yeah, and you saw that jury reaction when he went up to get his torch snuffed.
Yeah,
right.
They were not happy that it was him who went.
And I did like Erica turning around to Deshaun saying, "You're welcome, friend," and then Danny turning around and saying, "Go Cowboys." Just for Deshaun and the viewers at home.
But I do feel,
you know what? I'm surprised that Sean didn't say a couple of choice words back to Erica. At this point, it'd be like, "Oh, go fuck yourself."
but I do feel bad, honestly, for the cast of season 41, because this was because of COVID. It pushed the game back. Like, they got cast for the show, and it pushed the game back, like the filming of it for season 41. In addition, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they implemented the percentage of people of color. So I think they went back even after they cast the show and recast after they cast originally, to put in the percentage of people of color. So people probably got cut for season 42 or 43, whatever. You'll probably
got moved to it.
Yeah, exactly. So then you have to wait. It's a shorter game. You get no family visit.
Yeah.
And you fucking don't get a reunion show. So for those that really want the reunion experience, like Jonny Fairplay said on Johnny's social media, anywhere in the United States, you have a lot of Survivor alum putting on finale parties. Obviously, I'm going to promote ours, Jonny Fairplay and myself, at Bishop's Quarter, Loveland, Ohio, next week. Get your tickets at survivortix.com right now. $75 VIP gets you a Survivor buff, meet and greet, autograph photos. It's the fucking best thing of 2021 if you've never been to a fucking viewing party. $25 general admission, and it's going to be great. Other Survivor cast from the local area are going to be there. And Jonny, like you said, that Wendell and Bryce are doing a party, and then there's one out in LA, and so there's very different things to
the crazy thing
celebrate this.
So I'm in Hearts Reality this weekend in Orlando, and some of the 41 cast wanted to come, and they were scared to ask because it's better to get forgiveness than permission. So some are just going to come.
Yeah.
And but then of course Abraham asked.
He did?
Of course. First boot, Abraham. And so then the memo went out to everyone. You are not allowed to get. Why?
I know. What's the point?
The
season's done.
The season's done. There's not a reunion.
Right.
So it won't be like, well, the first time that you can see all these guys ever together is on our platform. It's not. You ain't got them.
Yeah.
Why can't they go?
Stupid.
So yeah. So pretty much the entire cast of this past season Big Brother is going to be there, which is pretty cool. And at every day, more and more people from the challenge are being added. So Nelly T was added today, I think. Fessy yesterday, Alex's favorite.
No, it's Lauren's favorite.
Well, we all know Lauren loves Fessy, but you really like it.
Hey, he's growing on me.
Okay. So, but yeah, so it's gonna be a cool deal. I really wish 41. I mean, because what do they got? I mean, like they don't get a finale. Let them go to this.
I agree. I think it's bullshit. Angela Miller says, I don't feel bad for season 41 players. They got on, period. How many of us would like to be on regardless they got to play? I agree with you.
That's not what he's saying.
but I'm saying I agree with you. However, for example, like I'm a huge fan. The fact that on the Caramon reunion, because of Brandon Hance and Russell Hance's dumbass shit against Philip Shepard, I was robbed of being with my cast on Survivor. So for the people that fucking actually get to play, it's closure to this fucking crazy experience that we go through.
So next week we get the finale, and then they're doing the reunion right after, which was filmed with only, if I may be mistaken, but I think it's filmed with only
jury.
The jury.
Yeah, because you would think that they sent.
I think everyone went home at the same time.
Really?
Now, I want to ask you this one last thing. So there's
But I
been
don't know that for sure.
there's been a lot of controversy on last week's the whatever the game of chance, whatever it's called with Deshaun.
Oh, do or die, or
Do or die.
Is that what
So people are not fucking stoked on that, right? Like viewers, etc. It's like being made fun of. So
Are you stoked?
Season-
Are you stoked for going to a new island for the last 3 days? I'm kind of cool with that.
Like,
I'm fine with it. I
to me,
don't-
it's sort of like it is what it is type of thing.
But what I want to ask you, I want to ask season 42, since they've already filmed it, do you think there's another do or die type thing on season 42?
I don't know. I don't, but I it's possible just because at least maybe the change that they did was they openly said what it was, whereas they withheld the hourglass and what it actually could happen there. So there's a possibility it could show up. They love doing their things in pairs. Like, you know, that you have to have 2 Redemption Islands. You have to have 2 Edge of Extinction. So maybe you know what? If the thing is we have 2 do or dies, that's better than an Edge of Extinction.
Yeah, and I think after that, season 43 will not have a do or die.
Because you have to believe, as much as Jeff just wants to do what he thinks is fun for him and makes him entertained, you have to think about the feedback that's happening. And like, you're going to be getting reports back to you saying everyone's trashing this idea.
Mhm.
Everyone thinks this is stupid. Like, why are you putting this in the show? And then,
Well, all I
Yeah.
know is like at the end of the day, I'm very happy that Survivor is back on the air because Reality NSFW went a fucking year where Johnny forced me saying, dude, I'm firing your ass if you don't watch these dumb other reality shows when Survivor's off the air. I'm kidding. But the fact of the matter is, Survivor is on the air. I am thrilled that in 2021, the show that I love so much that I played, that I literally love with all of my heart and soul, is back on the air. So props to just the cast. It's a great cast. We love you all, Heather. If you're listening or watching, I'm sorry. I can't wait to meet you, but you're still probably useless in the game.
my God.
But Danny, I love you too, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. Next week, the finale. Jonny Fairplay is my Christmas present this year. Fairplay coming to my hometown,
Wow.
Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm
Wow.
looking forward to it. It's
I'm
gonna be
just as
fucking
happy-
great.
I got to send a special shout out to Stellara. There was a commercial so after the end of the show and before the preview for the finale, there was a commercial for Stellara, and it's for people with Crohn's disease. And my friend has Crohn's disease and therefore can't get his ride. Like, you know, you get your car on Pimp My Ride, and then they put all that chrome on it. Well, he can't do it because he has Crohn's disease. So I think if he takes a Stellara, oh wait a second, you know what? I that says Crohn. I never scratch that. No, we're good. It's
So
totally
Well, anyway, while you guys are out there doing the thing at the after parties, if you're not able to make the after parties, you can still come here same time next week. I will be here leading the coverage of the finale with Lauren Pratt, who also does the Challenge podcast and the Deep Dive with Alex Rubino. And we will have Dan Monchel, a fellow NSFW patron. And we may be also revealing something that's going to come during the off season at the end of that podcast.
And I will say this, John, I haven't discussed this with Fairplay, but Johnny and I will be doing the live finale party, which means we will not be on the podcast. However, Johnny, I would like to, with you, do a podcast, a bonus pod where you and I talk about the finale and the season of a whole.
Well, we're gonna
etc.
have guests on the following weeks.
Yeah,
with,
so
with people from the season.
Exactly. So we're going to be doing some post coverage. But yeah, Reality NSFW listeners, we love you. We hope you're digging all this season stuff, and we're giving you some laughs and making you smile. So we will see you next week on another awesome episode of Reality NSFW. So cheers.